Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I want to talk to you about the Canon 24-70 f4. Now, I actually do not own a copy of a 24-70 lens, even though I think it's probably the most versatile lens that there is. And the reason why I don't own a copy is simple. It's because I have friends that own them and I just borrow from them. Why buy something when I can just mooch off of somebody else? But as far as versatility, I think a 24-70 is a lot like a minivan. It does a lot of things very well, but it doesn't do anything great. It's not the fastest or the coolest or the sexiest, but it does a lot of different things very well. Now, usually whenever I shoot with the 24-70, I'm shooting with an f2.8 lens, and I had plans on buying one later this summer, but now I'm actually kind of considering buying the f4 version because it's a lot cheaper, and I'm very happy with this lens. I wasn't able to borrow one from a friend this last week, and I knew I needed one, so I went on lensrentals.com, and they had the f4 version on special, so I went ahead and rented it. And when I got it, I had only really planned on using this for a field trip to the La Purisma mission with a bunch of fourth graders, and I liked the lens so much that I began using it just about every day this last week for different things. I used it to shoot down on the beach. I used it a little bit at a concert and just at an awards ceremony, all kinds of different stuff. And I'm very, very happy with this lens. As far as image quality goes, this lens is very sharp. I found the autofocus to be very fast and accurate, something you need when you're trying to shoot some pictures of a bunch of fourth graders running around. One of the things that really impressed me about this lens was the image stabilization. Now, if you want image stabilization in a 24-70, the Canon f2.8 version that's, I think, 2.5 times as expensive as this one, the f2.8 lens does not have image stabilization, and this one does. And it works very well. Now, I'm not a video guy at all. It's something that I'm trying to expand my skill set to be better at, but right now, my video skills are very weak. And I was at a swim meet and I just kind of turned on the video mode, just messing around, and I started shooting video completely handheld. And you can see from this video, it's actually fairly stable considering that I wasn't really using any good shooting technique or anything like that. I was just standing there with the camera in front of me, just shooting some video, and I was very impressed with it. It also works very well when you're shooting pictures. When we were on our mission trip, the buildings that we went into, there is no lighting. It's just the lights coming through windows and through open doors, things like that, because the buildings are a couple hundred years old. And so I was shooting at very high ISOs and very slow shutter speeds, and I had absolutely no problem getting sharp images. So I was really, really impressed with the image stabilization. Now, as far as losing the stop of light, yes, there were times that I wish that I had that stop of light, but what I really realized is with my shooting style, whenever I shoot with the 24-70, I'm doing a lot of group shots and a lot of like landscape or scenery type pictures, and so I'm typically not wanting that super shallow depth of field anyways. I'm usually trying to get a little bit more depth of field and shooting at f4, f5.6 anyways. So for me, it wasn't a huge issue. Yes, there are times that I would have liked to have had a wider aperture, but it's not a deal breaker for me. One of the other cool things about this lens is that it has a macro feature. Now, just like I'm not a video guy, I'm not a macro photographer, I don't even own a macro lens, but it is kind of a cool feature on here. Now, you only get 0.7 magnification instead of the 1:1 magnification like a regular dedicated macro lens. But for somebody like me who doesn't shoot macro, but on occasion I want to be able to take a close-up shot of something, it's a really cool feature to have. I played around with it for about an hour, just goofing around, shooting pictures of Legos and things like that. Nothing serious, because for those of you who are macro photographers, you know that lighting, it takes some thought and planning on how you're going to light things when you've got a lens stuck right in front of it. And I just was too lazy to really set up anything too interesting or cool, but it's just a nice feature to have for somebody like me who's not a macro photographer, but on occasion I want to be able to shoot up close. And I think this is the only zoom lens, it's the only one I can think of off the top of my head that has that kind of built-in feature at this kind of magnification. So it's really cool. So overall, like I said, I had full intentions of buying a 24-70 f2.8 lens here in the next few months. And now I am probably going to end up with this one because this is sitting right around $600–700, I think it is, versus the nearly $2,000 for the f2.8 version. And for the way I shoot, this is actually going to work just fine with me, and I get the image stabilization, and I get the cool little macro features. So overall, I'm very happy with this lens. Hopefully that answered any questions you guys might have. If you still have any questions, leave me a comment below. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.